look different. Jasmine's long blonde hair tumbles around her perfect heart-shaped face. She's all ephemeral, glowing beauty, and drop-dead gorgeous. My oval face is pale against my hair, which is dyed sapphire blue and cut much shorter. My features are regular, and my eyes, arguably my best feature, are green and fringed with dark lashes. I'm more, not bad, does the best she can, attractive. Zach, my housemate, did tell me I was pretty a while back, but I don't think he had his glasses on at the time. But at least I'm happy here. I look around the glittering cafe and smile. Serving coffee and cake might not be everyone's idea of a high-flying career, but I get pleasure from doing a good job. And I feel safe in this little back room that's been transformed into a welcoming space where people can meet and relax. I've been happier generally since I moved, or rather fled, from Birmingham to Honeyford 10 months ago. The country town's butter-yellow buildings and the rolling Cotswold hills beyond are cheerful. They lift my mood and make life seem less likely to end in disaster. Yes, things have definitely improved since I helped to set up the café and ended up working here full-time when it got busy. And I've got used to the regular customers who are starting to accept me. People like Millicent and Stanley, who belong to the afternoon book club that's meeting here this afternoon. Millicent has wandered back to the club members, who are huddled together in a corner of the café. Behind them on the wall is a large poster of a fir tree that's so thickly covered in sparkling snow it looks like it's coated in tiny diamonds. I expect she'll have a go at me about that later on too. But she looks content for the moment, sitting with her book club friends who have become a close-knit gang of 5, in spite of all being very different. As well as Millicent and Stanley, there's knackered new mum Mary, Stanley's friend Dick, who looks more like Father Christmas every day with his long white beard, and Phyllis. When I glance at Phyllis, she catches my eye and gives me a wave from her wheelchair. She's become a surrogate grand to me since we met near the river, back in the spring. I was worried her chair was about to roll into the water. Of course, it was a disaster waiting to happen. But she assured me that her chair's brakes were on, and she wasn't about to drown. That would have been that, but sadness was coming off her in such waves I couldn't just walk away. So we talked, and she told me about her husband who'd died, and her daughter and grandchildren who'd moved to Australia. And we kept in touch. There's a soothing matter-of-factness about Phyllis that cuts through my brain's overactive alarm system and makes me feel calmer. A clipped voice suddenly cuts into my thoughts. I said I'd like a double espresso if it's not too much trouble. When I turn around, there's a short, balding man in a suit behind me. He's drumming his stubby fingers on the cafe counter. And could you turn the music down? I might need to take an important work call, and it's far too loud. No problem, I say, scooting behind the counter to turn down the volume on Wham's Last Christmas, though it wasn't very loud to begin with. Can I get you something to eat as well? The man glances at the magnificent cake display laid out in front of him and sniffs, as though there's a bad smell. I don't think so. And can you hurry up with the coffee because I have an appointment to keep? I haven't got all day. The man's just being an arse, and I shouldn't let him get to me. But my hands start shaking as I tamp down the ground coffee beans and choose one of our patterned china cups. Thick, treacly liquid starts dribbling from the spout of the coffee machine as the man stares at me. There you go, I say, placing his drink on the counter in front of him. I hope you enjoy it. He inspects the espresso, wrinkling his nose. How much is that? £1.80, please. When the man hands over a crisp £10 note, I ring up the purchase at the till and count out his change. He squints at the money in his hand and frowns. You've shortchanged me. I gave you £20. You gave me a £10 note. No, I definitely gave...